Hi, welcome to the Wired
and Rewired podcast all about the hit HBO series, The Wire.
I'm Chris, and this is my 1000th time watching The Wire.
And this is Ellie. It's my first.
If you're new to the force or a longtime veteran, we think you'll find something here to enjoy. Today we are covering Season 4, Episode 7, Unto Others. And as always, we begin by popping a recap. With a bounty on his head, Omar calls in a favor to Bunk. The election finally over, Royce and Carcetti make their peace and contemplate their respective futures. At school, Prez tricks his students into learning math. Namond finds that the old rules no longer apply. A disillusioned Cuddy ponders his job future, and Randy is cleared to return to class. Marlo looks to smoke out his pursuers, infuriating Herc, who begs Carver to help. Expecting the worst, Perlman gets surprisingly good news from her new boss. Following some high-profile appearances, Daniels' star seems to be on the rise. I almost made it the whole way. Bubbles finds his rolling business and relationship with Sherrod sabotaged by both sides of the law. Finally, Griggs uses soft eyes at his unsolved crime scene. Yeah. The episode was written by William Zorzi. He's been in the writer's room for a while, but this is his first time getting credit for the story, and it was directed by Anthony Hemingway. This is his first time in the director's chair. The episode premiered on October 29th, 2006.
Okay.
All right, Ellie, why don't you kick it off by busting out that epigraph?
Oh, yeah, that golden rule, says Bunk to Omar.
Yep. Everybody knows the golden rule, which is always put the toilet seat down.
Should be in my house.
I mean, do unto others, right? Okay, well, before we get into the episode itself, we have to go over your predictions. I started to read these ahead of time and was so flabbergasted by the accuracy that I had to stop because I wanted the reaction to be authentic. So here we go. Omar will turn to Bunk. Bunk will say, "You shafted me with Tosh's death." This is what you said.
Yes. But I didn't think Bunk was going to help him, and Bunk stayed and helped.
Fair enough.
Okay.
But still, you did
bad.
you did call out what he said almost exactly.
Yeah.
So that is incredible.
Okay.
Carcetti will look into the police department and will want to clean up Royce's people. Burrell will be out. So that was his intent. So you got that right as well.
Yes. He would like Burrell to be out.
You said Dennis will keep it in his pants. We don't know that for sure, but he did sort of address his transgression. So good job there. Prez will continue to make progress. Bingo, got that as well. Man, Randy will continue to be good, but someone will find out that he snitched. So nobody figured out that he snitched. So he will continue to be good. Herc will have Merrimal on his ass. So not exactly. We'll try to get him Marlo a different way, which he is doing, and will destroy the camera. That's interesting. I don't remember exactly what you said about that, but
yeah.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. But he's acting because he's scared of Merrimal.
Right.
So really nicely done in terms of especially the accuracy of some of these are really impressive. So that is it for the prediction. So before we begin, any initial thoughts or questions, or we can get started?
I think we can get started.
Well, let's do it.
Okay, so we'll start with Omar, a man with a bounty. We've got to talk with Wardell. Carcetti makes plans. We'll go to the major case unit in For the Birds. Then Dennis keeps it in his pants.
Oh, yeah.
Title of one of my sections.
Okay. That's good stuff.
Namond sets up shop. Marlo steals a camera, and we will finish with a Battered Bubbles.
Okay.
Oh, my poor Bubbles.
I know.
Okay.
This is a rough one.
Well, let's start with a man with a bounty.
Okay.
Omar's reading a book in his cell. I do not believe this is a book by one of the showrunners. Ghetto Heat, it's called.
Okay.
I looked it up. It's a book of poetry.
Interesting.
Yeah, and it's humorous poetry.
Oh, all right.
By Hickson. Anyways, and he is chuckling about what he reads in the book. And then we've got those two guys that Butchie said. They show up and they have big books, telephone books. They start strapping him. Remember telephone books? So yeah.
Sure, yeah.
Around his torso, kind of like a makeshift armor. And they head to the mess hall. Or asks if they've got Honey Nut Cheerios. But as he turns back to ask that, he sees the guard standing at the entryway leave. And so then in the food line, another inmate kind of makes a little cover of pushing some guy out of the way. We see he has a knife. He tries to stab Omar, but fortunately he has that body armor. Omar turns it around. He takes the guy's blade, kisses his ear, says could have made some babies to him, and sticks him just enough to send a message. He slips out before the guards show. One of the guys says, nobody here saw anything. And later we find out that from Butchie's guys that the bounty is from Marlo Stanfield. And Omar doesn't seem to recognize, I think, that this is who he has robbed at that poker game. And so Omar says, okay, I got to make a call. Guess what? There's a cell phone there, and they want to know who he's calling. He is calling the cops because they owe him one. So there you go.
Yeah, how exciting was this for you?
Very exciting.
It was very exciting.
Yes, very exciting. Yeah.
And
you knew it was going to go down as soon as you saw that guard. Well, they start going into this narrow passageway too, and you're like, oh, that's not good. That's a really tight space. And then you see the guard leave, and you're like, oh God, here we go.
Yeah. So this is just a little nitpick, but I just feel like that means the guard was in on it too. So I don't quite understand how that would work. Marlo's money getting to the guard, or
I don't know.
The guy who's getting paid off for it. I don't know. So that part was a little tricky, but anyway, nevertheless, it's still exciting. The way that they shoot it, it's like very cramped. You feel very cramped.
Yes, for sure.
Then, I don't know where exactly Omar stuck the guy.
I think in his ass.
Okay, that's what I thought as well.
I know. When the way that he's kind of like clutching himself at the end. Yeah.
So that was pretty awful. So but otherwise, okay. And then I can't remember. Did you know who they were calling? Did you know who Omar was calling?
No,
I can't remember. Okay,
I don't know. I think he just says that he needed to call the police.
Okay, I couldn't remember if they revealed that at that point.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay. Yeah, exciting start to the show.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep going.
Okay, so let's see here. Bunk visits Omar at the jail, and we see Omar hand over the card that he received from Eileen Nathan, from the state's attorney's office for helping with the Bird case. And you can tell the card has been saved for a while now. It's a little frayed on the edges, a little tattered. Bunk says, hey, this card was only good for something small, not a serious charge like a taxpayer murder of an eyeball witness. Omar reminds him that he helped Bunk find that missing police officer's gun. Bunk says, yeah, it's the only reason I'm even here. But you can tell that Bunk still doubts his innocence. Omar says, hey, when did I ever kill somebody that was not in the game? And he insists that the witness, Oldface Andre, is lying and he is working with dealers. Bunk pushes back. He's like, hey, but I do know that you killed, these other two. You are guilty of that. But Omar finally convinces him, saying, look, I did not kill that delivery woman. That means that there is some guilty man out there who did. And reminds Bunk that a man got to have a code. Indeed.
Remember this, yo?
Not in my case.
Them boys working the case ain't really in the mood to listen. As you can see, I still got the lady lawyer marker. And if I recall, police gun got found a while back.
The only reason I'm even here is because of that gun. As far as Eileen Nathan goes, she promised to get out of jail free on a small felony or two. This here is a taxpayer murder with an eyeball witness.
The eyeball witness is lying, yo. Come on now, when you ever know me to put my gun on anybody that wasn't in the gang?
Oh, my.
Old face Andre lying on me here.
Well, the store owner. Now, why would he lie?
Andre working a package out the store. Folk like that, they tend to bear a certain resentment toward folk like me.
If you didn't do this when you did others. Shit, I got files on 2 open doubles last year. Shotgun shells at both scenes. What about that stash house gunfight? What about Stringer Bell and his muscle dead in the warehouse? If this one ain't on you, another dozen probably are. And if this one goes to court, you can tell that jury how wrong it is.
I'll be seeing God long before I swear to him on the stand. You leave me a courtside and I'm done. You know that.
Yeah? So you ain't making friends?
I got a bounty on my head, man. 5 figures. If I'd have known I was gonna be sharing quotas with all these boys, I probably wouldn't have robbed so many of them.
Oh, yeah. That golden rule.
But since you feeling all biblical and righteous and all, you think on this. Now, if Omar ain't killed that delivery lady, somebody else did. But you giving him a free walk right now, though, ain't you? A man got to have a code.
Yeah, so...
Oh, indeed. Oh, indeed.
Well, yeah, so you got that right away, right? So,
Yeah.
you know, yeah, that was... So I think the amazing thing about this one episode, or excuse me, this one conversation is that 3 seasons of content is rolled into this one season.
Yes,
Right?
yes.
Man got to have a code
gosh,
from
yeah.
season 1, the card on the light
card,
felony from season
yep.
2, and then the tie and the shootout from season 3.
Yes.
So it's just one of those things. It's a really nice payoff for if you've been paying attention.
Yes.
And then,
for sure.
you know, again, it's just such a treat to watch these 2 actors play against each other,
Yeah.
because in this case, Bunk is the one who is... I mean, it's not like Omar is animated, but if you think about their last interaction in front of on that bench, Bunk is just getting more and more upset, and this time he's just couldn't care less, and he's like, you're getting what you deserved,
Right?
You know, and he you know, in a way he's right. It's like he's
yes, and that's what I thought he was going to stick with.
Right,
was
exactly.
just like no, yeah. So
you know, it is kind of an interesting, I guess, calculation for Bunk in that Omar appeals to the fact that this was a citizen that was killed, somebody who wasn't doing something illegal.
Right.
And Omar was only, you know, essentially killing people that were already doing illegal stuff.
yeah,
You know, and I think that if I'm going to, I don't know if we have any data that says this is true, but, you know, from Omar's perspective, he probably doesn't even kill unless the person is a killer.
Right.
Right. I think it's pretty
Yes.
safe to say that that's
Yeah.
probably the projection.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, you know, I shot the boy Mike in his hind part so couldn't sit right. You know, it's like he
Exactly.
didn't kill the guy. He just
yes,
shot him because
teach a
he wanted the drugs, and the guy wouldn't give him up or whatever.
Yeah.
But he wasn't going to kill him over it, kind of
Right.
thing. And so this time it's like, well, you know, and so Bunk, he just nails Bunk down, which is there was an innocent person killed,
yep,
and they are pinning it on me, which means, you know, and of course, like the sale, it just sold itself. It's really, it's really
Yep.
kind of amazing. So,
Yep.
you know, and the man got to have a code. Just the closing line is just, whoa. I mean, he
love
just absolutely. Bunk has no choice but
exactly,
to do it. So-
exactly. And his voice is a little rough too. I kind of like it. It sounds like he's been screaming all night. I was kind of like, what was that actor doing the night before? I don't know,
yeah.
but I did like he had kind of like a roughness to his voice, or sounds like he's losing his voice a little bit.
Yeah, and sorry, not to go too far into, but I think Michael K. Williams in particular does just such a really terrific job, because, you know, he's so resigned to his fate if Bunk walks out the door and he's like, I'll be talking to God before I swear to him, and
Yes,
and he's just saying,
that was a great line.
and even his whole thing, you know, think about somebody else did. He's got like a little bit of wavering to his voice. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but he's not exactly crying or you know in despair, but it definitely, there's something in his voice that really just hits home.
Yep.
And it's a beautiful scene.
Yep.
So.
Okay, well, let's go to homicide
Okay.
and talk about Greg's talk with Wardell.
Okay.
So we've got Norris and Greg's bringing in their jailhouse snitch, who we learned in the last episode was going to offer info on the Brad case. And Greg's, you know, their Landsman is there. Greg's makes a comment about how they are hopefully now going to be able to solve the case. Maybe they'd be allowed to. Freeman is at his desk making tiny furniture. Landsman asks if he has work to do. Nope, there has not been a call yet. And, you know, he asks him how much he makes for something like that. Oh, 300 in mint condition. Landsman is impressed, says he needs a hobby besides nudie magazines, apparently.
Apparently there's no money in reading nudie magazines.
I guess not. No, not in the office. Okay, well, later we have... Did you want to say anything about that?
No.
Okay, Greg's comes in. She is annoyed as hell. The interview apparently did not go well. It was a waste of time. And Freeman checks in. He asks, why don't you just interview your main suspect, Wardell? The guy Braddock was going to testify against. She could have him take a polygraph. And, even if he passes it, she can still get some kind of information potentially just by listening. So that it, presents it as a starting place.
Yeah.
Braddock case running you in circles?
Whole day was a waste of time.
Why not talk to Wardell himself? Ask him if he killed the witness against him. If he read the newspapers, he already knows he's a suspect. Will it take a polygraph? Call his lawyer. Tell me about to ship the narcotics case over to federal court because a state witness was murdered. Tell him if his client doesn't cooperate, he's looking at mandatory minimums and no parole.
The feds don't want drug cases anymore. Especially not a case that's gonna fall apart without a key witness.
Bluff. What have you got to lose? Maybe he blows the box, maybe he passes. But he talks a bit, either way. And you, detective, get to listen.
Yeah, and that really caught me by surprise, I think, when he mentioned that. Because you're
Yeah.
like, wait, you're going to go straight at the person? And
Yeah.
But he talks about it, and it's like, you get to listen. And I'm like, oh,
Yes.
that's an interesting
Yes.
perspective. So
Yes. I liked it a lot. Okay, back at the office, we have Bunk coming in, and he is trying to talk to Crutchfield and Holly about reopening Omar's case. He brings up, Old Face Andre's in the game. He's trying to stick it to Omar. Crutchfield says, yeah, I've seen Old Face Andre's sheet. I know what it is, but he is furious that Bunk is sticking his nose in their business
Yeah.
and questioning the police work that they have done up to that point.
And if your witness is in the game and Omar jacked him up good...
What the fuck is this?
Hey, Crutch, I'm just asking.
No, that dick suck kin to you or what?
Hey, Vernon, man, you ran a sheet on that old face, right?
Yeah, he's an asshole, so what?
So what? What's the history?
Motherfucker, do we come behind your casework talking this kind of shit? Do we?
Come on.
No. Fuck you, Bunk.
Fuck you.
Fuck you.
yeah, this is where it gets interesting.
Yeah.
Right? Because, and you have this sort of, even within homicide, you have these differing
Yeah.
perspectives of one side just wants the cases to be down, and then you
Right.
have Bunk who's kind of like, wait, something doesn't make sense about this, so it's not enough for the case to be down. So
Yep.
it's an interesting argument to make
Yep.
for Bunk, and you can see where he's kind of trapped in trying to convince these guys to think a little bit further about what they've got.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So let's get to the polygraph here. So
Sure.
who is Wardell's lawyer? It's Levy.
Right.
God, just
We
when
thought
I
we were
thought I
done
would
with you.
never have to see that guy again. And he decides, he's going to let his client take the polygraph just to show how desperate the cops are. They ask Wardell questions to establish a baseline, including, are you female? Which he's clearly annoyed with, and then just answers anyhow. And then when the guy who is working the polygraph, the technician who's working the polygraph, tells Greggs that he can make the test go either way, she's livid. She's
Yeah.
like, what the hell is this? And she, she's the one that, when Bunk was kind of trying to push her to say she saw something that she didn't see when she was shot, she said, he's going to play hard, right? So she goes by the book. She's not okay with this at all. Later, Levy explains that he let Wardell take the polygraph because he knows Wardell's innocent. Wardell tells Greggs he would not have killed Braddock even though he was testifying against him. They are almost related. Their moms were like cousins. So even though he was not happy about him testifying against him, he would never have taken his life.
Let me guess. They're out in the hall, and Swatowski is telling them that he can make it go any way they want.
If you think that's how we play it, then why let your client...
Because, even though there's not much case left now that your witness is dead, I don't need to expose him to a federal charge if I can avoid it. And because, even if Swatowski bends it for our ears, he's let you know that Mr. Wardell here did not blow the box.
Yo, I wouldn't kill me. Even if it flips on me, I ain't gonna do shit to the man.
Why not?
My mom's and his, they're like cousins. Came up together in the Latrobe, you know? And I've been knowing them since, like, Head Start and shit.
But he was gonna testify.
What I'm looking at on the first conviction in this kind of way? 7, 8? Shit, I'll be out in 3.5. You think I'm gonna kill my mom's cousin's boy for 3.5? I know that man helped get himself elected, claiming that I did me like that, but please. Bum ass motherfucker's gonna testify against me, and I swear to God, I feel bad as that. I do.
Hey, Eileen.
Okay.
So I'll tell you now that the actor who plays Anthony Wardell, his name is Gordon Timothy.
Okay.
And I can't remember if it was him exactly, but he was one of the inspirations for the killer cameos.
Oh.
Because he is so good.
Yeah, he is very good.
I mean, I'm just like...
Yes.
And his... So, it is funny because when he's talking to the polygraph technician, he's kind of... It's not like he's... What's the word? Kind about it or anything, but he's got a little bit of attitude about it.
He does.
And then, when he's talking about this guy who was killed, he's, you see the sort of sadness in his voice as well. And, he uses this phrase about like, they said I killed me. Why would I kill me for 3.5 years? I think is what it was. Or we'll play the clip, but whatever it is, he refers to killing him, the death of the victim, as killing me.
Yeah.
Like in his line, like, I know that guy got elected by saying I did me like that, which I just thought was a really fascinating phrase. I assume that that's, authentic, but it really does kind of strike me as interesting that someone refers to their family or someone close to them as like part of themselves.
Right.
And it makes
Why
a
would
lot
I
of sense.
do me like that? Yeah.
Exactly. And I think that that's part of what really stands out to me, on top of the fact that then at the very end, he kind of just feels this sadness for the guy. It's like, that dumbass was going to testify against me, but I feel bad that he's dead.
Right.
So I just really appreciated the guy's performance. And, it's one of those times when I really appreciate what The Wire is able to do. You have these people that come in for one scene, and they can have such an impact on the series, not just on.
If that was my first episode I had ever watched, I would have thought that was somebody who'd been a character all season long.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So anyway, I just appreciate that, and I think there was some really good exposition in there as well, right? I mean, that's the thing. Other thing I always really appreciate is when Kima's acting as our surrogate. Like, none of us know anything about polygraph, and here she is getting all this information, and they move it right along. They don't dwell on it, but they allow us to kind of catch up and understand why, bring it back to why it's important for Kima just to listen.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yep. Okay, let's see here. So back to Bunk. He goes to the state attorney's office to call in Omar's favor. He's talking to Eileen Nathan out in the hallway. She doesn't want to help. She says, hey, I said light felony at best, but it's definitely more than that. But Bunk keeps pushing. He says, he thinks that Omar's being set up, and he is currently in a place where everyone wants to kill him. And finally, she agrees to move Omar somewhere safer and says that the debt is now paid. Mm-hmm. So... Phew. Omar's going to be okay.
Yeah, exactly. It's amazing to think about if he didn't have that in his pocket.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be it. So, pretty crazy.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, well, back to Greg's. She reviews the Braddock file, and she notices something a little odd. Nobody on the scene ever heard a gunshot, or is reported as having heard a gunshot. Mm-hmm. So she goes back to the scene and hangs out in the alley. She looks at things from different angles. It reminds me of episode 4, Fucks.
Yeah, got it.
So much. Yes.
I wrote that down myself.
Okay, yeah, just the way that she is examining angles. She's by herself, so she doesn't have anybody to work off of. But she finds eventually these ricochet marks. She finds broken bottles, a bullet that's lodged in an old dresser, and even some potatoes that were shot through. And she ends up finding the murder weapon, we find out later, inside a nearby house. And so back at the office, she explains that the potatoes were used as silencers. Mm-hmm. Yeah, mm-hmm. I've never heard of that before.
I gotta wonder, before the end of the episode, I'll have to find out if people can actually use silencers.
Yeah, and she tells Norse she finally has soft eyes.
You want to help me take a statement?
Braddock case is down.
Room 2.
You veteran crime fighters got a name for this here, right? Murder weapon or some shit like that?
No fucking way.
Slug from autopsy matches 2 more I pulled from that smokehound's backyard. Blocking to the side alley from where Braddock fell.
A guy's dead from a stray.
Fucknuts here was shooting at 40s in Clorox bottles blocks away, using potatoes for a silencer.
Bite me, that's ridiculous. So our guy's dead because a bullet misses a bleach bottle. And this fuck Carcetti gets to be the mayor behind the stupidity. I fucking love this town. I do. Nice pole, Greg's.
Soft eyes.
Kima with the soft eyes.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you guys have a name for this? A murder weapon or some shit?
Yeah.
Great stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, so good.
And then Norris's response is just so good.
Yeah.
I mean, just like this guy Carcetti got elected because some guys just were shooting. Anyway.
Exactly.
It's pretty impressive.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, when he sums it up that way, you're kind of like, oh my God. Yeah, you're right.
So yeah, and by the way, can you use a potato and then as a silencer was the first search question? No, potatoes cannot be effectively used as silencers for firearms.
Oh, okay.
This idea is largely a myth with no practical application. So, but that doesn't necessarily mean that people don't use them. It's just that they're not very effective.
Right.
So, and of course, like from what we could see, it was probably about maybe 150, 200 yards from where the guy was actually shot.
Exactly.
So, you might have heard it and not sort of made the connection.
Yes.
So, anyway, so there's that. And yeah, what I don't understand when you watch this scene is why people use words at all when you can just show like the process.
Right, exactly.
Right, because I'm sure you must have been watching that and it just felt like you're learning along as you.
Yes, right? Yes. The way that they lay it out, what she looks at, her expressions, you can figure out what she's thinking. You don't need her to say it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and so I think that you feel just, you get the sense that you're learning, and I just feel like it's a really rewarding space. So anyway, The Wire once again shows how it's done. And then finally, I thought that was I don't know if this is exactly the same, but when Marlo was in the river with his people and they were all shooting at bottles and like I kind of felt like, oh, there's a little connection there. But maybe like just shooting bottles of detergent or whatever is something people just do as a hobby.
Yeah, just like the kids who were throwing the bottles against the wall when Dennis was going to pick them up.
Yep. So good job, Kima.
Oh, good job, Kima. All right, they're making a homicide detective of her.
Yes. She is natural homicide.
For sure. Mm-hmm. Okay, now let's move to Carcetti. He is making plans. All right. Carcetti meets with a former mayor. I don't remember what his name was. I didn't write
Old
that down.
Tony, I think.
Old Tony. Mm-hmm. And he wants to know why Tony only was mayor for 1 term. And Tony tells him a long story about having received a lovely vessel full of shit from various groups and being expected to eat it. So basically he's telling him the job is nonstop misery thanks to the city and its bureaucracy. So there we go. Carcetti smiles, he laughs, he takes it. He's still excited to have this job.
Yeah. You're a much sharper person than I am, but there was like a second where I was like, wait, did he really have to eat shit? No, it is, and it's sorry, just real quick. It is interesting to think about when you get into wanting to hold on to the job.
Yeah.
You end up beholden to the voting populace, which of course is like how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
But of course you have to make choices and you're going to always piss people off. So it's just a very fascinating kind of view into how many different constituencies you have to try to appease at any one time. So, and you probably, anything that you feel like might be important immediately takes a back seat to this. So.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, well, Carcetti next, with Wilson, next meets Royce and Parker in the mayor's office. They're talking a little bit about campaign strategy. Everybody's making nice now. Some jokes about the faked photo with the slumlord. Oh, who, I don't know where that came from. It's kind of crazy to see them like enjoying each other's company and seeing themselves on the same side after that very contentious race. Royce welcomes Carcetti to the mayor's chair, tells him to come behind the desk and sit down. Carcetti jokes, I still have to win a general election. They mentioned D'Agostino, what a good job she did. She's back in D.C. Norman's taking over. She got a big signing bonus, not the one she wanted, as we recall. Royce tells him, it would be embarrassing to even think about losing in a city that votes this much. This was a 9-1 Democrat.
Yeah.
And he promises some information Carcetti would like because Carcetti wants to, get running as soon as possible on this. Tells him too that it's a hell of a job and he's going to miss it. And then they shake hands.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go.
Yep.
That was very peaceful and diplomatic.
Yeah. I mean, once the round has been, the fight's over, there's no point in keeping up the
everybody can
hostilities.
Be friends. Yeah. Yes. Okay, well, I love this scene. Perlman meets the new state's attorney, Bond. And we know from a conversation she had before with Daniels, she's expecting to be demoted. There's going to be a black man in office. Why would they want to keep this white woman there? She worked with Demper. So she goes in there. She's like, how can I be of service? He starts talking about the work she's done, starts talking about the subpoenas. You can tell she's really worried. She's kind of getting ready to explain herself. But instead, he offers her the violent crimes post. And we find out, too, she's like, well, what about Eileen Nathan? Eileen Nathan's been promoted to second deputy or something like that. Mm-hmm. And with Carcetti's mandate, Bond, he is interested in these prosecutions more than Demper ever was. Mm-hmm. So this is good for Perlman. Mm-hmm. She has proven herself to be determined and shown her stick-to-itiveness. Mm-hmm. And it's paid off.
Yeah.
Yay. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's a really interesting little turn, right? She comes in and so were you nervous for her? Did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought she was going to get canned too. I did not expect this to happen.
Yeah.
So I'm happy.
So yeah. Okay, well, cool. Yeah, I mean, I was kind of paying attention to it again this time and a little closer, and just to see her smile at the end just really was a nice little turn.
I
so
know, things
rewarding
are coming
stuff.
up roses for Rhonda.
And you heard her whisper Lester under her breath.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I figured you did, but it's one of those things where I think, again, if you're not really paying attention and you didn't kind of connect it back to the previous episode, that you wouldn't quite understand what that was about. So
she should be thanking Lester now.
Yes. The father you never had, always looking out for you.
Exactly. Well, I'm just a police.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. At a Comstat meeting, we have Daniels, who is now in charge of the Western, right? He is reporting that homicides are down, but other felonies are up. Rawls says, oh, you taking credit for that? Daniels will not take credit for it because he has learned that means he has to take the blame later.
Yep.
Very wise. Carcetti comes in to observe the meeting and listens to Daniels as he talks about focusing on quality felony work rather than pointless street sweeps. Burrell gets kind of annoyed he's very annoyed when Daniel starts talking about the fact that the police officers lack some training that they would need, and that if he had the funds, he would get them this training. What is it that they can't do? They can't write warrants very well, learning how to testify appropriately, how to not be used by your confidential informants, things like that. And you watch Carcetti's face this whole time, and he seems to really like what he hears from Daniels. Mm-hmm. And I think he thinks Daniels could be a really good leader in a higher position than he currently is in. Mm-hmm. So there you go.
Yep. Yeah, the other kind of subtle moment is Carcetti comes in and then sits down next to Rawls and shakes his hand as
Yeah.
opposed to sitting down next to Burrell.
Oh, that's
and
a
shaking
good point.
his hand.
Yeah,
which
I
is
didn't
kind of
really
just a
think
little-
about that.
I'm not sure if it was an actual fuck you to Rawls,
Yeah.
but we learn later about how Carcetti feels about Burrell. So
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then what's the word? Burrell was. It seemed like Burrell was trying to get Daniels on the defensive about it. Well, you just
Yeah.
insulted your command, and he's like, "Yep."
Yep, exactly.
I mean, basically, what do you want me to do, buddy? Like, this is what I've got. So I'm not going
Yeah.
to shine, shine shit and call it gold or whatever.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, Carcetti talks later to Wilson and Watkins and Jerry about firing Burrell. And Watkins says, no, sorry, you, a white mayor, cannot fire a black commissioner. This is problematic. The ministers like him. This is going to give a lot of blowback for you. Even though Watkins himself told Royce to fire Burrell before. And they think about, well, who could replace him that's a black officer? And there are not enough officers at a high enough rank to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So they talk about potentially doing a national search
Yep.
for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the only thing I mentioned about this scene is that I feel like there's some really good exposition in it, right?
Yeah,
it's like it moves quickly. Watkins explains why Carcetti can't fire him. Carcetti explains why we can't hire somebody.
Right.
And now you have this kind of impossible situation. And I think it seems like it paves the way for Daniels to move in, right? Is that what you're reading?
I
from
do.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. That's my hope.
Okay.
Are you saying no?
I'm not saying anything. I'm just
Okay.
saying, but with that and then the scene you'll get to in a minute, I'm sure.
Yeah,
about,
exactly.
Yeah, it does feel like there's a lot of focus on Daniels right now.
Yes. Well, so Carcetti decides to do a ride along. I bet a ride along is pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm. Real quick. A lot of the actors actually did. Carver and Herc in particular talk about being in a ride along.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and what
Okay.
that experience was like.
Oh, cool. So he's riding along with Southern District officers. And Cantrell is surprised when Carcetti wants to ride with a regular patrol instead of with a supervisor. And he's with these guys. They look like twins.
Yeah.
They look so similar. I wonder if that was done on purpose, these two white officers. And they end up at a shooting scene. And who else is there? Daniels. And Daniels is running things very smoothly, running things like the pro that he is. And again, Carcetti very impressed by Daniels.
Yep. Yeah, so I just like the line of "Don't let him get captured." Is what Mello says to the staff, or the roll call people,
Yeah.
and then the interaction between the police officers talking to Carcetti and kind of explaining their perspective, I think is also pretty interesting. As this isn't necessarily a life lesson, but seeing how things are actually done on the ground is always a good idea if you're ever wondering about what is actually happening, where things need to be. So, but yeah, overall, like it's interesting to think about what Carcetti's experience must be after this, and
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna move on to For the Birds.
Okay.
Okay. So you got Herc and Sidner who have been holed up in this van, right? They have the camera in the area that Marlo always goes and has meetings out in the open. And so they're looking at their surveillance footage. And this time, what do they see? They see birds. Now, I'm passing. We'll talk a little bit later about a conversation that Marlo has with Prop Joe. Okay. So we'll get to that later. Let's stick with this because I got to get to stuff with Randy before I get to the stuff about what happens at the school.
Okay, sure.
So
Gotcha.
Sorry, just the way it flows in this.
Ellie will weave it all
work.
together in a beautiful tapestry by the end, no doubt.
Okay, so they're seeing birds or seeing pigeons. Interesting. We remember pigeons.
Sure.
So they realize that the camera has been stolen, and Herc freaks out because this is not like the little, recording device that they stole and put in the didn't steal, but purchased and put in the tennis ball, right? Like that was pretty spendy.
Yep.
And they freaked out. Was that season 2?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This is far more expensive for the police department, and he is really concerned about what Marimo is going to do if Marimo finds out. Because we know Marimo is a jerk.
Yeah.
All right, I can keep going.
Yeah.
Okay, Herc talks to Carver, and Carver tells him that Marlo keeps birds, keeps pigeons. So they're thinking maybe the camera ended up there. Carver remembers that Randy might know something about another case. He calls Bunk, but oh my God, I hate this part so much. Crutchfield, he is angry still with Bunk for questioning how he handled the case. So he tosses the message.
Yeah.
So Bunk will not get this message.
Yep.
Carv, do you know how much that video camera cost? $4,200, which makes our adventure with Fuzzy Dunlop look like a fucking walk in the park.
To get the camera from ISD, you had to get authorization from your supervisor, right? Still, you lost it doing police work, your lieutenant will understand.
Marimo, you know what that asshole understands? Burning motherfuckers for petty shit like this. Help me, Carv.
This is not my problem.
Unfuck me, Carv. Unfuck me now.
You know what this is? This is one of those enabling relationships.
Enable me, Carv. Enable me to find my fucking camera.
You're seeing pigeons?
Last night we did. Me and Cinder ran the west side looking at every pigeon coop we could find. This morning, nothing in the monitor.
You checked the pawn shops?
Everyone. I fucking know this asshole Marlo has my camera.
Oh, fuck me.
What?
You just reminded me. I debriefed this kid last week who said he knew something about a murder that Marlo's people did. I meant to call Bunk on it.
Bunk caught the case?
No, actually, he had a warrant for the guy supposedly got killed. I rode around with him on it a while back.
What about me? I got problems here, man.
The only thing you can do is get some wood on Marlo Stanfield or his people. Scare him enough to send the camera back. What do you have on Marlo?
I know he's a drug dealer. I can't prove it or nothing, but I know.
Okay, listen. How about I let you debrief the kid first? See what he can give you.
This gets the camera home?
Maybe not, but you talk to the runt, and maybe he gives you some shit on Marlo. Maybe even gives you a murder or two, and before you call homicide on it, you walk it back to Marimo like the cat with the mouse in its teeth. You bring him a murder, he probably forgives the camera.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It is so... Ugh. I didn't know I was going to not like Crutchfield this much. I am not okay with this.
I mean, yeah, I don't know why I'm defending him. I guess I think he's kind of a funny character, but you know, he just knew that it was a call. He didn't know. I don't think he knew anything about.
Yeah, I'm
that
sure.
It was about a kid in the balance or anything like that.
Yes.
So you know, and it's so petty though. It's just like I'm just gonna throw away this message if Carver wanted to call. So,
yes.
Yeah, you know the Herc Carver interaction is interesting and one that I want to talk about a little bit because you know Carver has been for this season, you know, this really important, I guess, not mentor exactly, but support for Herc, right? I mean, he, you know, the whole blowjob in the mayor's office, and then, you know, and then, you know, he got advice, and that's how Herc got out of that situation, and so on and so forth. And then here's Herc coming back to him and saying, "How do I get out of this?" Now, I need to talk about one thing in particular, which is I don't understand why Herc went around Marimo to get the camera.
I know. I don't know why either, because Marimo was like, you know, what can we do about this?
Yes.
So it doesn't seem to me like he would have been against it.
Yeah. On the other hand, then you realize that Herc is just an idiot, and he just, you know, he just did not anticipate this happening.
Right.
Certainly. So, still, it still feels like a little bit of a strange choice.
Yeah.
So I don't know why he did that, but nevertheless, he did. And so now he's in this fucked up situation, and he's afraid of the punishment.
Yeah.
And so now he's pulling Carver in, and Carver's trying to give him advice. And then he's like, oh, okay, what's the worst that could happen if I put Randy with Herc and just have him interview and see if there's anything that you can get out of it, and then just make sure you get it over to Bunk, you know? So it's, you know, but of course, like what Carver doesn't sort of realize is that Herc is kind of this, you know, he doesn't realize that, or he's still got high hopes for Herc to do the right thing and to kind of follow the growth that he himself has demonstrated.
I know.
Which is a big assumption.
It's more like he's regressing. And
Yeah,
Carver
exactly.
is accelerating.
Exactly. And so, of course, the whole concept of enabling somebody is that you're denying them opportunity to grow, really, is what it ends up becoming,
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's see here. Carver brings Randy to Herc and Sidner and says, take care of him because he's a good kid.
Yeah.
And Herc does, we've seen this strategy before. Do you want something to eat?
Yep.
They've used that a lot.
Yeah.
And of course he does. He's a growing boy.
Sure.
And so they go get some food, and immediately Herc asks about the camera.
Mm-hmm.
And like, what?
Yeah.
Instead, Randy tells him what he knows about Lex's murder and the involvement of little Kev and Chris and Snoop, but this is not anything that he has heard in person. This is all secondhand information. And Herc continues to pressure Randy, a kid, and even tries to intimidate him. And Sidner is there, and Sidner's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And finally, I'm so glad Herc gives up.
Yeah.
Like, he can see he doesn't know anything.
Yeah.
Nah, but see, I ain't know nothing about it in the beginning. Lil' Kevin, he just told me to tell Lex to go up to the playground behind Fulton, because his girl was up there.
And Lex got killed.
Yeah.
Where did he get killed? So you actually weren't there to see him killed?
I told you. Lil' Kevin, he just told me to tell Lex to go up to the playground and see this girl, Patrice. Then later, Kevin come up to me and tell me Chris and Snoop killed the dude.
What's Kevin's last name?
I don't know.
You don't have his name.
Lil' Kevin, all I know.
So let me get this straight. You told the guy to go somewhere, and then you heard he was killed. But you don't know where he was killed, and you don't even know if anyone ever found the body.
How you know Lex is really dead?
Everybody know it.
Who's everybody?
Everybody from around the way. Yo, listen, people be saying that Chris and Snoop be turning niggas into zombies for Marlo. But I know that ain't true. When you dead is all.
Zombies, huh? You know what this is? This is bullshit. You're bullshitting me.
No, sir.
You were right there when this Lex fellow got dropped, weren't you?
No.
Yes, you were. You're an eyeball witness who could give me Snoop and Chris both.
I told you.
Look, kid, if you were there and can say so, we can do a lot for you. Maybe help you out with this problem you got at the school.
I ain't got a problem no more. I'm good with that.
Come on, you were there, right?
Herc.
Just say you were there!
And he does take Randy home. Randy asks not to be dropped off in front of his house. He wants to be dropped off a little distance away. They pick up, because you don't want other people to see the cops drop you off. Yep. And so they drop him off, and Herc decides that he is going to go directly after Marlo. I don't think that's a good choice.
It's given Herc's track record.
Yeah.
And that Marlo figured out both how to set him up at the train station and that he took his camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, Herc does not quite see that.
I think
he's
it's
being
gonna.
played here.
I'm afraid it's gonna get him killed.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just feel like he's so dumb.
Yeah.
You know, like he's the one that, like, when Carver and Herc were first trying to, talk to Marlo's group, and Carver's the one that notices somebody has a bat and they're in a precarious position, and Herc is still just, blathering on.
Sure.
So yeah. That's why it scares me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll just mention that Maestro Harrell plays Randy. I loved the way that he performed here. Like he just, Herc is yelling at him, and he's just like, "No, sir."
Yes.
And he just, Anyway,
Yep.
It seems like a really interesting way to play it, and even when Herc is trying to intimidate him,
Yeah.
he doesn't blink really at all, which is kind of amazing. So,
Okay. Let's see here. Where am I? Okay, so that's it. We're moving on to Dennis.
Okay.
Who's keeping it in his pants. Dennis finally tracks down Spider. Spider is stealing on a corner, and he wants to know, why Spider hasn't come by. And he does. He calls him son. Spider does not like that. You're not my father. He says you're one of my best, and Spider doesn't want to talk to him. He's upset. Dennis tries to apologize for having slept with his mom. Says, that was between us, and if I knew it was going to hurt you, and you can tell he doesn't even like the idea that of anybody vocalizing that he could be hurt.
Right.
Damn, I know this nigga ain't about to cop busy.
Spider. Spider, hold on now. Come on, man. Why you ain't come past my gym no more? I've been waiting on you for weeks now. Talk to me, son.
You ain't my fucking father.
What happened between me and your moms ain't got shit to do with you taking advantage of the gym. Now, man, I'm just saying, you one of my best, boy. Hell, if I thought it was gonna hurt you, I wouldn't have...
Fuck you. Ain't nobody gonna hurt me. Fuck you. So step up or step off, I got customers backing up.
So, yeah, he burned that bridge. That was dumb.
Yeah.
So later at the gym, I'm sorry, would you like to say anything
No,
about that?
no,
Okay.
you're on it.
Later at the gym, Dennis talks to the young boxers and says, that I was in prison for a long time and I got out and I got so much attention from women and I shouldn't have welcomed that attention so readily, especially when it was family for so many of you.
Mm-hmm.
That he didn't think about how that would affect them and that it was over now.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Mike, get in here, too. I want everybody to use the gym to hear this now. Most of y'all know I came home after being in a long time. And some of y'all, all of y'all probably seen me welcoming the attentions of some of the ladies who come past. Easy. Now, I realize that some of these ladies is your relations. I ain't mean to disrespect y'all or have any feelings hurt. All y'all coming here to learn a sport and better yourselves. There ain't no need for me to get in the way of that. All right.
Yeah, just a really good coming clean, kind of laying it all out there for people and being honest about it. Hmm?
Yes.
Yeah.
And we'll have a little more with Dennis when we get to Namond.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my next.
Okay.
Is Namond setting up shop.
All right, well, let's do it.
Okay. And we got some good press stuff going on here too.
Sure.
So Dookie is watching Michael and is it Kareem?
Yep.
Playing poker during lunchtime. So they're hanging out in Prez's room playing poker. Prez says, hey, you guys, I told you you couldn't hang out here and eat your lunch. You just can't gamble. They are playing with pistachios. There's a quarter on the desk. The quarter's just to keep track of how many pistachios are out there, he says. Anyhow, Michael wins, and Prez tells Kareem that he should have made a wiser bet because of the odds. And so this is great. This is a lesson on odds. He asks, how many diamonds are in a deck. Michael says 13. They're interested, right?
Yep.
And they ask, hey, we mostly play dice. Can you do odds for dice? Yes, you can.
5 and 5 more. Shit, I see that done. Yo, last card down, remember? Oh, yeah, my bad.
Hey, guys. I don't mind you coming up here most days to eat lunch, but I said it can't be gambling.
Yo, Mr. Presbo, the quarter's only a, reminder. Reminder that I got 25 shells. That's all. Come on, let's see what you got. Dang, flush.
But it don't beat your 3 9s, right?
Yeah, it do.
It do?
It do. It does. Kareem, you should have been more cautious with your bet. Figure the odds.
Yo, it's our lunch break. Don't be schooling us now.
Hold on, let him talk.
Well, for starters, you have to get a count on the diamonds. You know how many diamonds there are in a deck?
13.
13, that's right. Cards is all about knowing the numbers. The numbers, you can calculate the odds. Mike will have 4 diamonds showing.
Hold on, wait. What about dice? I mean, does dice have odds too? Because mostly that's what we play.
Dice? Yeah, sure.
So can you show us the odds of dice?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Nice. Happy hard, man.
For real.
So Prez goes to Donnelly for some board games. She gives him a key to a storage room and reminds him, hey, you still need to stay on curriculum. Otherwise, we're all going to get in trouble. You're going to get in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And he heads to the storage room. He brings Dookie along. I love that Dookie's his sidekick here. And says, okay, look for any dice in any of these games. And while they're there, he sees that there are new math books, more up-to-date math books, and completely untouched computers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So according to Ed Burns, this is something that he experienced. So
crazy.
Was you went to a more kind of button-up school, but
Yeah.
So you never encountered anything like this when you were teaching?
Oh, heavens no.
Okay.
Heavens no. My gosh, no. If I had found anything like that, I mean, it would have been out and seen and used and all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's but it's pretty funny to think about, like, you know, when you have, I think, a bureaucracy as big as a public school system.
Yeah.
And turnover.
Yes.
Right? The person that ordered those books or ordered the computers.
Right.
Probably, you know, they might have moved on and, you know, just,
Exactly.
and it might have, you know, without, it's not nefarious or malicious intent, just forgot to tell people about it
Yeah.
and nobody goes down to the
Right.
storage
Or there
room.
was like an equity situation where because they were going to give it to these schools, they had to give it to all of the schools.
Yeah,
And nobody
oh, yeah. Oh,
realized
that's a good
that,
point. Yeah.
oh, wait a second.
Yeah.
You know, these are coming our way too.
Yeah. They're like, what the hell are
Yeah.
these boxes? All right, go put them in the storage room. We'll deal with them later. Yeah.
Exactly.
We'll get to them when we, you know, clean up. And, you know, then, of course, like in my own house, I have a storage room where I forget what's in there. I'm like, you know, what's back here? Is that thing that I was looking for the last 6 months? Is that back here?
Is it there?
Yeah. And then it just reminded me as well about the police department kind of reference. So McNulty was looking for the triggerfish.
Yeah.
And Fitzhugh says, you guys have 3 of them, I think. And he's like, what the hell are you talking about?
Oh
And
my
he's
gosh,
gonna
you're
go back.
right. I
So,
forgot about
yeah.
that.
So
Yeah,
just
that
kind of a
totally harkens
funny
back
little
to that.
parallel. Mhm.
Oh, okay. Well, after school, Michael goes to visit Namond, who is running a little crew because, as we remember, his mom has pushed him into drug dealing.
Yep.
Michael notices the boys that are on the opposite corner. He asks, you know, who are you bumping with? Namond doesn't think that crew is a threat at all. It's fine. I'm on this corner. They're on that corner. No big deal. And tells Michael he'll see him later at the gym. And then we go over to that other corner, and I did not realize at first. It was only later on second watch that I realized Sherrod was with that group.
Yep.
He's got a hat on, so I didn't recognize
Yeah.
him, and like a camo jacket.
Mhm.
And the kind of apparent leader of that group says that, you know, Namond's crew isn't with anyone, right? They're independent, and they need to basically intimidate him into leaving his corner. And if they just go, then there's no need for a gun. But otherwise, he kind of puts his foot up on a wheel, and you get an idea that's probably hiding in the wheel well there of the car that's parked next to them. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the only thing I'd mention is that it feels like, 2 things actually. So the first thing is that in season 3, when Fruit's crew was on one corner and
Yeah.
Bodie was kind of like halfway up the block,
Yeah.
it you know, they kind of get a sense of like the property line.
Yes.
And in this one, it's like Namond's crew and
directly
Sherrod's crew
opposite.
is pretty
Yeah.
close.
Yeah.
That's one. Also, I didn't realize this until I double checked the credits. Sean Williams, who was in the prisoner that Parenti and Colvin talked to,
Yeah.
he was on the corner too.
Oh.
So I thought that was kind of interesting.
Oh my gosh.
So he plays it.
okay.
He plays it a lot more calmly this time, obviously,
Yes.
than he did. But I was like, God, that guy looks familiar. And I looked at the credits.
The
and
guy
it
who was like, which sister?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I just thought it was funny that Namond's crew is selling Big Yellow Bird.
Yes.
And Sherrod's crew is selling Brokeback, which I just felt like Big Yellow Bird being a very kid thing
Yes.
and Brokeback being more on the adult side. So I
Yes,
just thought that
for
was funny.
sure.
Brokeback, though, man, that's a reference.
I know.
For sure. So-
Yeah. Yeah, you bet.
It sounds like a good drug name, though. I would think.
I
The
think it
Brokeback.
does.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
So
Okay, a Sherrod and one of those guys, they're in a car. It's late, and we know they're getting ready to do something bad. Sherrod isn't quite high enough for what they're going to do, so they take more drugs. And this is, of course, is the rival crew, and they're here to beat up Namond. So they have followed him to Dennis's gym. Namond, I can't remember actually. Let's see here. Is Namond going in, or was Namond already in and came out?
He's coming out.
He's coming out. Okay. So Sherrod says, you need to get off of your corner. They start fighting, and Dennis finds out, and he breaks it up. He stands in like a protective stance in front of Namond. He can tell immediately that Sherrod, the other boy, is just like high and crazy by the way that he is reacting to him. He's like, I don't want any trouble here, trying to kind of keep it calm. He yells at Namond to go back inside. When they go inside, Michael sees that, he's got blood on his face. He asks what happened. Namond lies, says he won. Yeah. Clearly he was not winning this fight. Sherrod basically, had him in a headlock. And Dennis wants to know what's going on. Namond takes off. And Michael says it's none of his business and none of yours either.
Yo, what happened to your boy? What the fuck happened to you? Ain't nothing. You need to see how the other nigga look.
Who was that?
Ain't nothing. I can handle that fool. You ain't have to step two.
Oh, shit, no. You had everything under control. Look at your face. Of course, I recognize the other boy was high as all hell, and anything can jump off when it's like that,
Yeah, and he would have been on his ass if you ain't mixed in.
What's going on? He into something?
Ain't none of my business. Yours either.
What do you think about that?
Oh, I don't like it at all.
Okay.
I do not like it at all. I just, Michael is just, I understand why he is like this. He's just used to taking care of his own stuff and doesn't want anybody involved in his stuff, but that doesn't mean, an adult shouldn't be involved in what's going on with Namond.
Yeah, I'm just more surprised that he says it's none of my business. Like, I get that he's saying none of your business.
Yeah, exactly.
But
You're
none
his
of mine.
friend.
I mean, I guess he knows what's going on, but he's not going to say anything to Dennis about it.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah. So I guess that's all there is to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because he did say, like, he tried to figure out, like, what was going on with Namond, and then as soon as Dennis came up and started talking to him, then Michael basically just, that's it. And, I'm thinking about this a little bit more, like, I wonder if Michael has assigned some kind of, Dennis basically, Michael thinks that Dennis has broken his trust.
Yeah.
With the way that, not exploited his situation with the mothers or the women that come around the gym, but certainly took advantage of it, I guess. So,
right.
And so for Michael, he's like, okay, I'm putting you into this.
Yeah.
I'm pigeonholing you kind of thing.
Right.
So,
he hasn't earned trust yet.
So that's interesting. I do appreciate how Dennis diffused the situation. Yes. He separated them and he just kind of puts his hands up. He's like, yeah, man, I feel you. And just, that's an impressive performance of getting a guy who's high to not freak out and use actual, gun violence, even though I'm sure that was a risk.
Yeah.
So.
And he even explains to Namond that he had to, he's like, that guy was high. He could have done anything. When they're crazy like that, you don't know.
Yeah.
And Namond just wants to act like he could have handled it.
Right.
Okay. Donnelly visits Prez's class to talk about the rape that Tiff had alleged. She now is admitting that it was consensual. So Randy can come back to school. While she is in Prez's class, she tells somebody to get rid of their gum. That girl puts it behind her ear. Gross. That's so gross. I've never seen anybody do that before.
Oh, but you the reference though? You get the reference?
No.
Wasn't that Veruca Salt from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory? She had
did she do that?
She had the record for the longest chewed piece of gum, and she would put it behind her ear.
You're right.
I thought that's what I remember.
Oh my God, yeah.
So.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
That is, Veruca Salt did do that.
Okay.
Ugh, still gross.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Yeah. Okay. The kids in the class, they notice the new computer. Dookie's working on it. That's for special projects. Yay. And the new books. Everybody put your name in your new book. Prez asks who's done their homework. He goes around and we see that Michael has done all the homework very neatly, very well. He must have understood something about odds and it was easy for him to do. Someone else has the homework done too, but it's because they copied it off of Quinice. And he says, you know what? Let's set the books aside. It's time to play some games.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I love this.
Yeah. So, a couple of things. So, first of all, I was wondering what you thought of his approach with the 3 students. So, you know, or actually set aside Michael because that one felt pretty good. But like with Calvin and it was a Quinice, I think.
Yes.
So, just your thoughts on his approach to the two other ones. She didn't understand any of it, and he just kind of moves on.
Yeah, I mean, that's... I don't think that's the greatest way to handle that. Yeah, it would be definitely having a longer conversation with that child about it. Or, you know, that's something to reflect on as a teacher is why does somebody, after you taught it, feel like they don't know it well enough to actually do the homework? What's behind that? So, yeah, I would personally never get too hard on kids about not having done their homework. Like I would accept late work up to a point, but I never gave much homework either, to be honest with you.
Fair enough.
A lot of times it's just if they didn't finish stuff in class because they were talking too much, I'll be like, well, that's on you. Then you got to go do it at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I thought that I for whatever reason I thought that his response to Calvin and just like kind of making a joke about make sure you don't copy Quinice or was it Quinice?
Quinice, yeah.
Was she the one who did her homework? Might have been that, and then but it was the first girl. Like
the first girl was somebody different.
Yeah. In any case, I just thought that was a funny joke, and like everybody kind of made it laugh. So, you know, and then of course like rewarding. You know, kind of I like the idea of like praising.
Yes.
And then if people don't do it, don't really beat them over the head.
Yeah.
Just really emphasize the
right.
So,
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then the last thing is like he just seems like he's got good control of the classroom, and I'm wondering, you know, does that seem realistic to you? Do you feel like he would have gotten the You know, I guess there's a lot that we don't see.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he had to do a lot more work and just more consistency. But, you know, there's a point where they're like, I can't get his goat anymore.
Yeah.
You know, there's no point. I mean, that's what they're looking for is the attention, whether it's negative attention or positive attention. It doesn't really matter. Yeah. So once they realize they're not getting what they want, they can settle down.
Yeah,
and start out. And they have the few kind of rabble rousers are out of there too.
Yeah.
So that can really calm.
Sure.
Sometimes it just takes a couple of those to just upend a class.
Interesting.
Like the days that they're absent, you're just like, oh, yes, yes, stay sick. Just kidding. 101 fever. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a couple days at least.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Okay, so Namond is in the special class that is being run by Colvin and Parenti. And it's interesting, all the kids that are in there. We've got a few others that were introduced to Chandra, who is doing her hair and her makeup and should not be doing her hair and makeup. And then we have another guy, I can't remember what his name is. I didn't write these down, but he is drunk, often in class.
Yep. And
Colvin and Parenti, and is it Samson are watching? No, somebody else.
Mason.
Okay. And then, but there is one woman who I haven't really seen before who is running the class.
Yeah.
And she is just unfazable.
Right.
With anything that they do. You know, she just kind of goes with the flow and is very firm. Namond continues to act out. He is trying to get suspended. He even, you know, throws a chair eventually.
Yep.
And it's not effective because the class has a no suspension policy.
Right.
So, you know, he's like, there's got to have rules. School's got to have rules. So he just gets removed temporarily.
Yep.
Namond, why aren't you in uniform? Why did you decide not to wear it?
I ain't in my right class, so ain't no need for a uniform.
Interesting.
Why you always write down everything we say? Trying to get inside our heads or something?
You trying to get into mine? Chandra, do you think this is a beauty salon or a classroom? Darnell, why didn't you wear your uniform?
I meant to.
I did. Yeah, but after like a quart of vodka, it'd be hard knowing what color shirt you're supposed to be wearing.
And you find that funny, Namond?
Man, fuck you.
Darnell has a drinking
Namond,
problem,
do you
and
need a
Namond,
timeout?
we believe, suffers from conduct disorder issues.
Fuck you.
Yeah, he's got a mouth on him, yeah.
Chandra, is it necessary to comb your hair in class?
Fuck you, cheese-face bitch!
Chandra, I should tell you
You
that...
ain't telling nobody nothing!
Yeah, you know, I was wondering why she was in the class. She seems
Chandra, listen to me.
Oppositional defiant personality.
Fuck out of my face, bitch!
I'm sorry you're having a bad day, but you're gonna have to take a little walk with Miss Mason. Come back when you pulled it all back together again.
Damn, it's Baba time for my girl Chandra.
Yeah, you think?
Yeah, and I think that kind of goes back to what you were saying, is that they just weren't responding at all.
Yeah, exactly. Don't give them the response that they want. Later, Namond is starting up his shop in a new location. We see Donut there, and then a couple others, little Kennard, another guy, and they are not pleased with the new location. They're like, there's no traffic here. This is not busy. We're not going to ever sell anything. And he's like, no, this is fine. Don't worry about it. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, not really much. I think it was Donut was the other person that was out there.
Yes,
yeah,
I said Donut.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't miss Donut.
No, I'm sorry. Right.
My little cutie Donut.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and so that part wasn't quite clear to me at the first time through. It was like, oh, he's trying to get suspended. He's trying to get out of there. So
yes.
Yeah. I mean, I'm wondering what Donut and I mean, I guess Kennard. He already said he's not going to be in school. Donut, I guess, like he's not hanging out at school either.
No, I mean, we saw him the other day just like waiting outside the school for somebody to leave. I think we've seen him in there a little bit, but he must not be very consistent.
Right. Yeah, probably not. Or he doesn't,
Yeah.
He's in the right classes to get out early or something like that. That time he was outside he was waiting for somebody who was in detention afterwards.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Yeah, so anyway. But yeah, so it'll be, it's interesting because like Namond seems to be running the crew pretty well, but Kennard, he's giving him a lot of shit. So.
Oh yeah, Kennard he's spicy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Dennis goes to the school to talk to Donnelly about the next round of getting the truants, right? Like he has done with that other gentleman who's
Marvin.
Marvin, yes, Marvin. Good. And he is not satisfied with this work. This does not feel good to him. It's not meaningful to him. And so if it's just going to be bringing them in for their, one day to be checked off, this is not going to work.
Yeah.
So he turns it down. And while he is there, he runs into Grace, his true love, his one true love, his missed opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
And she has moved schools, we find out, to this school.
Mm-hmm.
So it's sweet for him to see her and her to see him doing well.
Yep. And he says be well to her
Be well.
as she said to him at
That's
the end
right.
of season 3. Mm-hmm.
I forgot that she said that.
Mhm.
Oh, good job.
Yep.
Chris.
So Dennis, he knew when to bounce.
Yeah.
So good job, buddy.
Yeah. Okay. Back in class, we've got Namond. He's just not talking to Colvin or to the teacher. He's just swearing.
Yeah.
We've got another guy acting out. Colvin is just like, okay, we got our hands full and this is not working. But Parenti, on the other hand, is just like fascinated by this behavior. Right. He's looking at it like a scientist and just finding himself incredibly curious about what's going on here.
You mind if I give him a go?
Sure.
Fuck you.
Okay. But you're still in this room.
Fuck you.
Look, you know you're not going back with the others till you learn to behave.
Fuck you.
Look, until you show you can handle it, you're not going back to your regular class.
Fuck you.
Look, and you damn sure ain't going home because ain't no more getting suspended.
Mr. Colvin, sir. Fuck you.
Yeah. So, well, because the part when Colvin comes in, it's right after he's sitting with Mason and Namond.
And Namond, yeah.
And Namond is just saying, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
so Question for you. I mean, not that Namond at this point is like super likable.
Yes.
But did that do anything? Like, did that make it worse for you?
Yeah.
Okay. I just remember like being like, oh man, this fucking kid. You know, like I'm glad Sherrod beat his ass.
I like the you cheese face bitch. What is that?
I don't have any idea what that means.
I don't know what that means either.
Yeah.
Oh, it is a little messed up too. Like, I mean, like I kind of get a kick out of Parenti's reaction, but also like, you know, like clinically speaking, like, you know, like there's test subjects or patients instead of real people. It's kind of problematic. I'm curious to see if that is a problem between him and Colvin in the future.
Okay.
Yeah,
but you're right though. Exactly, like Parenti being like fascinating, isn't it? You're like, ugh.
Yeah,
God,
it's a little cringy.
Animals
isn't
in a
it?
cage.
Right? Yeah,
kind of
yeah. Okay, well, back in Prez's class, they are having fun. They are learning probability through dice games. Randy's a little behind, but he eventually figures it out. Samson is observing and looking impressed or pleased. And Prez explains, you know, he just had to make them think that it's not a lesson, that they just got to play. Brilliant. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Kids are kids. Kids like to play.
Yep.
Kids like to have fun.
Well, and you know, we talked about this before. It was like he put it in terms that they cared about, right?
Yeah.
You know, like, you know, don't tell me about somebody going from Baltimore to you know, Philadelphia. It's, you know, how do I win
Make
at
it
dice?
relevant to me.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And it's sorry, I did want to. I forgot to mention this specifically earlier, but I'll mention it here. Is that when they're talking about the card game and the hands that beat the other hands, Kareem says, "Yeah, it do," and Michael says, "It do," and Prez says, "It do."
It do. Yeah,
it
that's
does,
right.
Which I like that too. It's a little moment there.
Yes.
So.
No.
But yeah, so Prez is really coming into his own. It's pretty fun to watch.
Is good job, Prez.
I was wondering about whether Samson was going to come in and just kind of give him a hard time, and I don't know. It is curious to know like how this plays into the actual curriculum exactly.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that there are all kinds of ways to connect it. So,
yes.
Just curious though, but
yes.
It's fun stuff to watch.
Okay, well, Marlo we only see for one scene. So this is just the quick thing on Marlo. He has a meeting with Prop Joe. And we know Prop Joe is still manipulating Marlo to some extent, right?
Yep.
Marlo says, you know, I can't figure out who is watching me. And Joe tells him, well, if you steal the camera, you'll have a better idea, because if it's the feds, they have plenty of money. They are not going to go looking for that camera. But if it's local cops, they need that. They're gonna look for that.
Yep.
So that's what happened, because now Herc is going after Marlo.
Yep.
And Marlo's gonna know who's looking for him.
Yeah.
Tried to bring out who was on me. Led him to the train station.
How'd that work?
Had the railroad police on me. Couldn't smoke out who was pulling the strings.
You need a name. You get that. I can run it down for y'all.
How'd I get a name?
Camera still there? Steal that motherfucker. If no one speaks to it, then it's the feds sniffing you out. It's only federals be rich enough to lose a camera and not go to crime about it. You steal that bitch and someone comes knocking, it's local. Steal that bitch. See what comes.
Yeah, I can't believe that Marlo was only in this one scene.
Mhm.
I was like, wait, that's it? But yeah.
That was it. I
Yeah.
guess I could have shared that earlier before
It's all good.
Ugh.
Just a little detail is that Slim Charles and
Snoop.
Snoop are in the
Yeah,
background, which
exactly,
I just like that. I don't know why, but it feels like two professionals talking in the
I
background.
know, they got their guards.
Yeah, while the bosses are talking.
Okay. Oh, my battered bubbles.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Fight through it, Ellie. You can do it.
He is all alone in his domicile. You can tell he misses Sherrod. He's opens up one of this, quote, school books Sherrod had. I think it was a dictionary.
Yep.
And sees that Sherrod drew a picture of him in there. Very sweet.
Mm-hmm.
And a good likeness.
Yeah. Oh, I don't think I realized it was of him.
Oh, I thought it was supposed to be of Bubbles.
It might be.
Yeah, I think it is.
I mean, I think that actually answers something more.
Yeah.
Anyway, keep going on.
Okay.
We'll talk about it.
So Sherrod goes to the middle school to look for him. He's pretending to be his uncle still.
Mhm.
He's wearing the same shirt and tie. And Donnelly says that Sherrod's not been there. He's truant. And while he's there, Bubbles bumps into Prez, makes a joke about keeping his cover because he recognizes Prez.
I tried, but he bucked on me. I just thought he might have come back past once or twice.
Sherrod's on a truant list, Mr. Cousins. He hadn't been back since the last time you brought him in.
Well, if he does come back past, you tell him I'm looking for him at home. You can come home if you want. I apologize for taking your time.
Back on the street, Bubbles is pushing his 2 carts now, Bubbles Depot, and he is selling product, but also asking people about Sherrod and if they have seen him.
Mhm.
He has added bootleg DVDs to his cart, and the same guy, the addict who robbed him before, comes again. He says, money or pills, I don't care which. And this time Bubbles gives up the money really quick from his jacket pocket. The guy also takes something from the cart. I could not tell what it was. And Bubbles sort of yells to kind of no one and everyone who's out there, like, hey, you don't take care of your neighborhood store. What's going on? So Bubbles next flags down a police officer, and that police officer is Walker.
Yeah.
And we see when he's in his police car driving, he's wearing that ring that belonged to Oldface Andre, and then Marlo, and now Walker. But Walker says you can't be selling these bootleg DVDs. That's copyright infringement, huge fine. Does not care that Bubbles has been attacked, and instead robs him also.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
This Walker better get his comeuppance at some point because he is terrible.
Yeah.
I hate him.
Motherfucker bad for business, man. Y'all don't take care of your neighborhood store?
I'm 10-8 from that signal 30. 10-8-23.
What's up? Officer. How you doing, officer, man? Can you help me out, please? I just got robbed. Thank you, man. They all saw it. Everybody was here witnessing everything.
Took your money?
Yeah, man, same guy every day, you know? He went down the alley towards Payson Street. You cut him off on Lafayette.
You can't sell on the street without a license. And these movies, it's copyright infringement.
Come on, man.
It's a hefty fine.
That's about 10. Is you gonna just rob me too? That's you gonna do, just rob me also? Baltimore's finest right here. Thank you.
Okay, well, I agree. I hate him too.
Okay.
He is a piece of shit.
He's a piece of shit.
I want to share this now.
Okay.
Though, because for whatever reason, and we've talked about this a few times, but I'll again, for whatever reason, when you play a character that I hate, I have to give you credit.
Yep.
So the actor's name is Johnny Brown.
Okay,
And
Johnny.
he talks about in All the Pieces that Matter. He said, Walker, a crooked Walker, that was one of the hardest roles that I ever had. It's actually one of my most notorious roles on film and television. A lot of people remember me from that, but I got to tell you, it started to get to me around the 3rd or 4th episode. I started to go to the writers, and I went to David, and I just said, guys, what am I doing in this character is completely outrageous. You got me in this completely dark Twilight Zone. Is there any redemption? Because from one episode to the other, they don't tell you what's going to happen. They themselves don't really know. They have an idea, but they change it at the last minute. It just started to mentally affect me. It really did. It was such a dark force, this character. And I went to them twice. Like, look, guys, I mean, what is this guy doing? He's like the Terminator. These are kids. I'm on set literally having this debate. Like, these are kids. And they finally just opened up and they said, Johnny, listen, the guy you're playing is actually based on a real officer. And right now we can't tell you much, but he's on trial. Just know that you're doing everybody a service by going there, by taking these extremes. They were saying this stuff to keep me going. Don't let him blink. Don't let him say, I've had enough of this. So the fact that there was a real police officer who's like this,
Yeah.
and that was being used as the kind of the source material is like, well,
Oh,
so
God,
you know,
I don't like that.
I don't either. And but it's again, it's one of those things where like with Delonda Namond's mom, right? It as depressing as it might be, it's helpful to know that they're not just making this person up just to be evil.
Right.
So
it's based on reality.
yeah. So anyway, but nevertheless, like we can just hate the fuck out of Walker because that guy sucks.
Oh, he's
a piece of shit.
He's a piece of shit. Good job, actor.
Yeah,
okay,
Johnny
sorry.
Brown. Good job, Johnny
Yes. Okay. I cannot believe it, but Bubbles is robbed.
Yep.
Again.
Yep.
A third time. He is beaten again. We've got Namond and Donut. The other guys actually see this from across the corner.
Yeah, that's messed up.
They, just like, oh, yeah, he got beat up. Finally, Bubbles finds Sherrod working on a corner, and he says, I've been looking all over for you. We've been going about this wrong. I made a mistake thinking that I knew you better than you knew yourself. And he says, I want you to come home. We'll work this out together. Sherrod says, I don't get paid till 8, but you come after that. Okay. And Bubbles gets home, and Sherrod still hasn't returned.
Mm-hmm.
Been looking all over for you.
You found me.
Like I've been thinking, Sherrod. We're going about our thing all wrong. You know, I made the mistake. I'm thinking I know you better than you know yourself. This corner mess will bring you down fast, you know. I think you need to come home, right? You come by tonight, and we work this shit out together, all right? I mean, thinking on it, why don't you just step right now?
I'll get paid till 8.
8, huh? You all right?
Just a little tired, that's all.
So I'm gonna see you tonight, right, Sherrod?
Yeah, I mean, that's, for him just to close the door.
I know.
Just
Sherrod.
Yeah, exactly.
Sherrod.
So just the thing I wanted to mention to close it out was that in not realizing that the picture in the book was of Bubbles, is that I was trying to figure out why Bubbles was so motivated.
Yeah.
Because originally I thought, okay, well, so he sees that Sherrod, has some source of, not inspiration, but he's got something in him that motivates him to draw this picture, right?
Yeah.
And so I felt like, okay, Bubbles connects. I feel like Bubbles connects with that, But the fact that it was of him is a way for Sherrod to communicate that Bubbles is important to him, and Bubbles realizing that he kind of pushed him away when this kid was just looking for him for support and all that. So anyway, so that part, and so I was like, well, okay, fine. He sees the picture, but like, why is that motivating? But then you realize like it's because Bubbles then did not realize how important he was to Sherrod.
Yeah.
So, and then when Sherrod's on the corner, you can just see that he's fading from I think probably just from using drugs, and so it's just and I think Bubbles probably sees that, but knows that he can't really do anything about it. So he's just hoping that that Sherrod will be there at the end of the day. Yeah, it's tough. It's a tough episode for Bubbles.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
I don't like it at all.
Nope.
Okay, that's it.
Yeah.
That is the episode, my friend.
We made it. We made it through.
We made it.
So it's all uphill from here, or downhill, or whatever.
Okay.
Maybe. Okay.
Maybe.
So let's see. I think we covered most of the callbacks. We talked about season 1, season 2. We got those things already. So nothing to mention there. I let the "fuck me, I need a hobby" line go by from Landsman. Just a little reminder, like, yeah, you're, what did Freeman say? You need something a bit more than this here. So Landsman, everybody should have a good hobby that doesn't include their job.
Agreed.
All right, well, let's get to some of our categories. So, okay. A couple of, nothing too complex here. So the music, a lot of leaving left to do. by Dierks Bentley is one of the songs when they're on the corner, and then
Okay.
Jack Flick by I think that's the first time that they're on the corner, and Sherrod and his crew see Namond, and the next time that Namond's on the corner is Jail Flick, which by Diablo. I'm not sure what that's about.
Okay.
And then
I never know any of these. I feel like.
yeah, well, neither do I. But that's what I like. That's what I like about them because
No,
they
it's
pick these
cool.
really
Yes,
good. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, Use a Trick by Lil Flip is when Sherrod and Sean Williams are in the car prepping to confront Namond, which again I don't quite know what Use a Trick necessarily means.
Use a Trick.
And then Bumpin' My Music featuring Scarface by Ray Cash is when Kima goes to the door and finds there. So I guess that's again not a lot of.
Are they listening to that inside the house?
Yeah,
okay.
exactly. And then finally, Dance My Pain Away. So this one feels a little bit more on the nose about like what Sherrod's doing. By Rodley is when Bubbles and Sherrod talk on the street. So, yeah. Okay, so that's the music. Killer cameos. I only had 2. So, but before I get to any of them and ask you if there's anybody that stands out, Miss Mason, she is going to be in a couple. So she's ineligible, but her name is Catherine Schmoke. And I have to believe that she is the daughter of former mayor Kurt Schmoke.
I gotta be that last name.
Yeah.
No way. It's
exact
not.
same spelling.
Yes.
So anyway, I thought that was super cool. So
okay.
But anyway, any cameos that stood out to you?
No, I think the one that you mentioned
Yeah.
is probably Wardell. Is probably my pick. Yeah.
Okay. Well, he's my pick as well. So
Okay.
which I kind of did not leave a lot of mystery, but I also just want to give a shout out to the police officers that Carcetti rides along with. I thought they were. I thought they were pretty fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, Gregory Timothy played Anthony Wardell. Just absolutely tremendous
good.
job. Yeah. So, okay. So that gets us to the Mr. Nugget's life lessons.
Okay.
So anything that you want to?
I would say I do like. I think there's something in what Freeman tells Greg's about just listening. Just go ahead and have the guy polygraph, and maybe he passes, but you get to listen to that and learn something. So I don't know. I just think that there's something there that even if you know you're not going to get the answer that you want or anticipate or the information that you had hoped for, like there still might be something valuable there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Okay.
And I think that, that reminds me of, I think I probably mentioned this already, but Stephen Covey, who wrote 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, said, seek to understand and then to be understood. And Kima does a really good job of just asking questions and trying to understand Wardell's perspective.
Yep.
And why, how it all makes sense. And of course, for her, by learning that and understanding that better and understanding Wardell's perspective, it sends her in this different direction.
Yeah.
Because Norris, they don't make it obvious, but Norris wanted to work back on everybody that talked to Wardell.
Okay.
Right. And he's like, we got to work back on all his visitors. And she's like, no, this is something doesn't fit. And she spent the time listening and understanding.
Yeah.
Good one. Good one. Definitely take the time to listen and not just ask people questions, but try to understand them and continue to ask questions and understand. So
take the opportunity.
Yep. So, well, if you don't mind, I'm going to step on your good life lesson.
I hope you have something else.
Oh, of course. So as always, I start with some that are less meaningful, but I think they're funny anyway. So there will always be gaps. The bigger the bureaucracy, the bigger their gaps generally are. And so be ethical, but if there's an opportunity to take advantage for, and kind of use it in your favor, go for it. I say, you got to be ethical about it. I want to emphasize that a few times.
Don't break no laws.
Don't break any laws. Don't break any
people.
rules at the office. But, if there are ways to, if you see gaps in bureaucracy that you feel like can help you in your day-to-day, then I say go for it. Because generally that's good for everybody. Be aware of your enabling relationships. Hopefully you don't have too many of these. But if you are, if you're doing something for somebody because you think it's making their life easier, generally, sometimes you have to be aware of it, if nothing else. I mentioned this to my the other day. I was talking about how I was helping my son. He was doing some car wash stuff over the summer, and I was helping him arrange appointments and stuff. And I'm like, oh, well, I'm going to help him out. I want him to be successful. And then I realized at the end of the summer that I had been his admin assistant. He did not develop the skill about following up with customers and developing the relationships. And I ended up it's not that I hurt his overall experience, but I enabled him
there may
in
have
a
been
way
a learning
that,
opportunity lost.
Exactly. So be aware of those things and make corrections.
So what are you saying was the enabling situation in this?
This was Herc and Carver.
Okay,
it's like
what
Carver's
I
like,
yes.
dude, you got to own up.
Yes.
He instead of like trying to help him get out of the situation that he got himself into,
make him.
He's got to figure out. He got to figure out on his own, or own up to what he did. And if Marlo's going to fuck him, then he's going to fuck him. But anyway, so that's another one.
Okay.
And I mean, I think we always, you're always going in with the best intention. Carver was doing this with the best intention. Essentially, he's trying to. What's the harm in helping Herc out?
Yeah.
But we'll see what that ends up going. So now a couple of some of these are last two that are bigger. Don't take credit unless you're willing to take the blame. Is from Daniels.
Yes.
And I just think that's a really important, in the realm of like sports, for example, when your team is on top, it feels like you're always going to be on top. But so handle yourself with class because your team is going to be on the bottom at some point. It just happens generally, not always, but sometimes. And you have to be, if you shit on if you shit on people when you're at the top or piss on people when you're on the top, then they're going to do the same to you. So carry yourself with some class. But again, like it's more just understand that success is not forever, and you have to be. If you handle yourself well when things are going well, then people will treat you with the same respect when things are not going well.
Yeah.
So just a little reminder. So, and then finally, I this is not what's it called? Damn it! What's the term when you like. When you give people what they want, I don't know.
Acquiesce?
And no, it's I'm like because Ellie, I'm picking a Dennis example, so I'm just throwing red meat to the crowd. But anyway, but I Dennis, the way that he talks to the boys, and kind of lays out his apology. It's kind of the opposite of what Herc does, right? He Dennis fucked up, he knows he fucked up, and instead of trying to. Kind of the way he talked with Michael, I think in the last episode, like, I ain't no angel, as if that's some kind of an excuse. Instead, he just like, look, I made a mistake, and I won't do it again. And, Ellie taught our family, like, the 3-part apology, right? Which is, say what you did, apologize for it, and say why, say, and you won't do it again.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's exactly what he did. And, of course, like, when you do something like that, a lot of times... Because what you're doing is you are communicating that the relationship to the person you're talking to is valuable.
Right.
And so a lot of times, it's not like you can go fuck up on purpose and then apologize meaningfully. Because obviously if you fuck up on purpose and then apologize, the apology itself kind of is meaningless.
Right.
But nevertheless, if you do fuck up unintentionally and then have this meaningful apology, a lot of times your bond is stronger with the people and you gain ground.
Yes.
And that's exactly what he did, I feel like. And that's a great example of how to own up to your failings and, recommit to the people that are important to you.
100%.
So.
Yep. And you got to say it. You got to do it in person. You got to
100, exactly.
I think that makes a huge difference.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's what I got. Okay. Well,
okay,
Ellie,
good stuff.
All right. So not a lot of like new. How did the episode hold up? So I think we can skip that today.
Okay.
So let us get to your predictions, the most exciting part of every episode.
Oh, my golly. Gee willikers. Okay. I mean, Omar, he's just going over to a more secure place where he's not going to get stabbed or whatever.
Yep.
But, well, let's see here. Will anything happen with him? I mean, Bunk's got nothing to work with right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Omar's stuck for now. I don't think there are going to be any developments that help out Omar yet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me see here.
So you got Prez, you got the Dennis, you got the boys. Any of these that are jumping out to you?
Nothing right now. I think more. I'm thinking like there's going to be more with Herc and Marlo. I'm trying to think about how Herc goes after Marlo.
Okay. How will Herc go after Marlo?
I don't know. I'm kind of... Because he's got to get the camera back.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he's going to try to find and follow Marlo.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe he will... surveil Marlo. Marlo's going to know, though, because Marlo's hoping that Herc comes.
Right.
So Marlo's going to... Okay, so Herc's going to surveil Marlo. Marlo's going to find out that Herc's the one who is pursuing him.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Marlo's going to begin planning some retribution against Herc.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Namond business is going to be not so good, and I think he is going to feel like he has to do something against that rival gang to get a better location again.
Okay.
It's kind of like that thing that happened with Ziggy, you know, like when you get humiliated too much in front of people, then you got to act like you do something kind of reckless.
Sure.
And I'm afraid that he's going to do something reckless.
Okay.
I don't think we're going to see Sherrod again.
Okay.
I think that's the last of Sherrod. Makes me very sad. And I'm just trying to think about Lex's murder.
Yeah.
Because has Randy said yet that he's seen dead bodies in the boarded up houses?
Well, they talked about it, but I don't
like-
think he mentioned. We didn't see anything him mentioning the location specifically.
Okay. I'm wondering if that comes out.
Okay.
Somehow, I think a body's going to be found. Maybe not this next episode, but a body's going to be found in one of the houses.
Okay. And then, what was the last one? Oh, so you got Carcetti again.
Yeah, Carcetti, I mean, I know...
You know what? I'm gonna let you off the hook.
Okay.
There is some stuff that happens with Carcetti, but you can't really know what's going on.
Okay, yeah. All I was going to say is I don't
think
think the national search is going to turn up anything.
Okay,
And that's going to make him want to pursue Daniels.
Okay. Okay, good.
Okay. And that's what I got.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
All right. Good job. Let's see. You already mentioned it. I want to jump in. Okay, cool. All right. Well, good stuff today, Ellie. Thank you very much. We appreciate you. I was trying to rein in my talking as much, so I appreciate you accommodating me. And so I think we can leave it there.
All
so,
right.
as always, Ellie, thank you so much. We will be back next week to cover Season 4, Episode 8, Corner Boys.
Corner Boys, all right.
Yeah, so a little bit more about possibly on the corner, as you already called out. So, Ellie, as always, thank you so much.
Thanks, Chris.
And we will see you all next week.
Bye, everybody.
The Wired and Rewired podcast is Ellie Peterson and me, Chris Aronchek. Our theme song is Nice Vibes by Neon Beach. Want to holler at us? You can email us at wiredandrewired@gmail.com or hit us on the burner at 240-488-0060 to leave us a voicemail. We're Wired and Rewired on all the socials. And of course, if you like the show, please give us a rating and review on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. It helps other Wire fans discover the show. And until next time...
I see you up here in the cover. All right, don't worry, dog. I'll keep it close.